8 different universities to our tournament today. Out of the 8 universities, 2 teams have remained for the final round. We have North-South University Team B. Please give them a round of applause. And we have BRAC University Team B. Another round of applause for them. The topic for this debate is all drugs should be legalized. So the team from BRAC University is for the motion, and the team for the motion is North South University. University is against the motion, and BRAC is for the motion. Without further ado, let's start our session. I would like to request the first speaker to take the podium in order to present their argument. Thank you. Best of luck to everyone.
Imagine a world where the war on drug is over, not because we gave up, but because we got smarter. Instead of creating criminals, we create recovery. That's the power of legalization. Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon to everyone. I'm Saviha Misra and the motion for today is all drugs should be legalized. And I stand firmly for the motion that yes, all drugs should be legalized. Firstly, drug is any substance that is used to prevent diseases, diagnose diseases, check out for symptoms, and also give out the treatment. Initially, prohibition has failed miserably. For decades, government have poured billions into the war on drugs. Yet, drugs are cheaper, purer, and more available than ever. Legalization would undercut black markets and redirect those billions toward healthcare, education system, and rehabilitation program. Secondly, legalization promotes safety and regulation. When drugs are illegal, users have no idea what they're consuming, leading to overdoses and deaths from contaminated substances. And also, legalization would allow regulation, quality control, and accurate labeling, just as we do with alcohol and tobacco. Moreover, the government's role should be to educate, not incarcerate, as it's a matter of personal freedom. In this case, legalization empowers individuals to make informed decisions rather than forcing them into dangerous black markets or underground markets. Moreover, legalization also opens door to treatments. Legalization with strong healthcare system allows to treat drug dependence as a public health issue, not a moral failure. Legalization will lead implementation of taxes on drugs and can be regulated, generating billions in revenue, as seen with cannabis legalization in US and Canada. Ending drug wars saves enormous costs in law enforcement, prisons, and border control. And the money from the tax can be used to fund rehabilitation programs, healthcare systems, and education. Therefore, we have tried fighting drugs with fear and we have failed. It's time to fight them with facts, compassion, and control. Legalizing all drugs isn't about surrendering. It's about saving lives, restoring dignity, and minimizing chaos with care. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, respected judges, fellow participants, and guests and audience. My name is Adik Rahman, and today we stand firmly against the motion that all drugs should be legalized. Our stand is based on 3 pillars of argument, but before that, we'd like to define some key terms from the motion itself. For example, all drugs refers to currently illegal drugs as well, such as opioids, fentanyl, methamphetamine, cocaine. And legalized would mean that it would be available for purchase, and it's also mean decriminalization, meaning there will be no penalty for possessing these types of drugs. So our first argument against the motion is that legalizing would create a public health catastrophe, meaning, so when substance becomes legalized, its consumption rises. For example, what alcohol and tobacco, which is legalized, it kills all 2 million alcohol users die, and tobacco users almost 8 million people die every year according to World Health Organization statistics. So what would legalizing, for example, what would legalizing do? They would create more harm. So in Colorado legalized marijuana, the overdose or like under influence driving increased accidents by a significant margin. Our second point of argument would be the societal cost, meaning that currently in the USA, it is estimated that almost $249 billion of money is spent for alcohol-related issues in the medical care, and 2 out of 5 of these dollars is paid from the taxpayer money. So can you imagine that, like, if all drugs become legalized, what kind of a catastrophe it would be? How much cost would it take? How much cost it would be to us? Now, another study showed that the early age use of illegal substances like opioids or brain-altering chemicals, they have long-lasting effects on the brain structure. People become more like irritable and more effective. So in the long term, it will also affect the people in the society. Our third point is about commercial exploitation. Currently, when the big tobacco companies or those that lobby for tobaccos, they try to manipulate by making sure that they gain the market. If all drugs become legalized, they would also create industries where they would continuously lobby for keeping these substances legalized. Meaning, example would be with Canada, when they legalized marijuana, the companies such as Aurora Cannabis lobbied for like THC vapes, knowing that it would harm the general population. So I'd like to restate that legalization of all drugs is dangerous, harmful, and like it's a risk to public safety. So our stand is against the motion. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon to the honorable judges and your audience. My name is Mohammed Usman and I'm the second speaker of the proposition. First of all, legalizing of drugs means establishing formal control over the production, supply, and availability of drugs. This will generally include licensing regimens, systems of taxation, marketing regulation, health and safety requirement, age access control, and equality control standards. Legalizing drugs is bringing the drug trade within the laws so that strict controls can be applied. Such controls are impossible under prohibition. When drugs are illegal, criminals control the market. Legalization transfers control to governments and medical authorities. For example, in 2002, Portugal legalized all drugs. What happened next? Overdose deaths fall by 80%. HIV infection from needle use dropped by 90%. What happens when you legalize drugs? Let's tell a story of failure. The US launched its War on Drugs program in 1970. Since then, over $1 trillion have been spent. Millions have been imprisoned for even having minor possession. Drug use and overdose rates got higher than ever, resulting over 1 million deaths. So it is legalization of all drugs that would destroy the illegal drug market, making drugs safe and weakening criminal act. Legal drug sales can also generate billions of tax in revenue that can fund health, care, education, and rehabilitation programs. Example, the United States of Colorado earned over $2 billion in tax revenue from cannabis legalization since 2014. Honorable judges, now I will take the opportunity to review some of the points raised by the first speaker of the opposition. The first speaker of the opposition has said, legalization means it will be available everywhere and to every person. No, legalization means the government will have a control. When the drug is illegalized, the government doesn't have any control over it. But when all the drugs are legalized, the government has the control over the drug and the government can control it. Secondly, the first speaker of the opposition has also stated when drug is legalized, it causes a catastrophe. But if we see the example of Portugal in 2001, when they legalized all drugs, overdose death fall by 50%, HIV infection from needle use dropped by 80%. And these all examples and statistics clearly show that legalizing all drugs is better than prohibiting the drugs. Thank you.
Hello everyone, judges, spectators, my opponents. I'm Ahmad Ferdi, and I'll be illustrating why all drugs should never be legalized. If drugs become legal, freedom won't rise, funerals will. And you might think that this will liberate society. No, it will crumble it and it will kick off a self-destruction. Let me boost my first speaker's points, that was health and societal damage. UN Office on Drugs and Crime in 2024 stated that over 296 million people used drugs in 2022. That has been a 23% increase in 10 years. Now here's the kicker. Out of that, 39 million already suffer from drug-related disorders. What does it mean? Legalizing will not shrink the number. It will cause an explosion. EMCDDA's 2023 study shows drug-related deaths have increased by 60% since 2019, and the number keeps rising. Now, you don't fix a fire by giving it oxygen, do you? Let's focus on the crime and public safety as well. Now, reducing the number of crime might be your first thought, right? But NIDA's 2023 study shows that in states where recreational cannabis use was legalized, drug-impaired driving rose by 16% in 2 years. And Canada Medical Association Journal showed in 2022, the first speaker of the propositions have stated that the hospital visits and the overdose have decreased, but they failed to mention that the emergency department visits among youth that were victims of cannabis poisoning, despite it being legalized, had doubled. Furthermore, I'd like to also show you the economic burden, the tax revenue they keep talking about, right? Let me also show that according to USA CBO's 2022 report, alcohol and tobacco, both legal by the way, cost 600 billion in annually in treatment, but generate only 60 billion. What does that show us? 1 billion or $1 of generation costs $10 of cleaning up. Not really good in maths. For the legalization, everything it brings is a tragedy, and you cannot tax your way out of a tragedy. If legalization allows more control and safety regulation, tell me why opioids like fentanyl kill over 100,000 people in USA despite being legalized. Not my words, CDC has reported this in 2024. Now, furthermore, if you think illegal drugs will result in the fall of black markets, no. These black markets, they will find another way. They will go for cheaper drugs. They will undercut the legal ones. They will go for more potent ones. That's what Rand Corporation has stated in 2020. If all drugs were legal tomorrow, the first thing that falls is not the black market. It's the hope. Even if you ignore the deaths, you cannot ignore the death. Not the moral, not the medical, not the economic. Thank you.
Hello? Hello? Yes. Right now? Assalamu alaikum everyone, this is Rubaba Hafiz Joshi, and we vehemently stand with this motion that all the drugs should be legalized. Why? I will tell you. First of all, I would like to refute some of the arguments that they have told. First of all, they have said that legalization will make the drugs easy and accessible to all age of people. First of all, I'd like to say regulation means age limits and warning and strict licensing, the same way we handle alcohol and tobacco. Do you get in your departmental store? No, you do not. Second thing that I would like to say that total illegal dealers do not ask for IDs, but when it will be legalized, they will ask for IDs and there will be regulation and strict regulation. They say drug kills, but I say no. Dirty, unregulated, street drugs kill. Legalization means dosage control and clean supply. Another thing that I would like to say, they provided a lot of statistics. My teammate also provided a lot of statistics in a lot of countries where it worked. In 1990, Switzerland faced a heroin crisis and users were dying in public parks. Instead of banning that heroin, the government launched a medical scheme where the addicts received pure measures and doses under supervision. Overdose death fell by 60% and the crime rate dropped more and the government did not moralize addiction, it managed it. Another thing that I would like to say that global shift proves that it's possible for countries like Portugal, Netherlands, Switzerland, and they have decriminalized or legalized the drugs and they have seen lower overdose and less crime in HIV infection. The world success stories show how legalization does not increase in drugs. Another thing that they said that they talked about overdose, but in our motion, it does not talk about overdosing. It talks about regulated dosing. When it will be legalized, there will be no crime rates. Because why? Because now people are going to fall under the consequences of the government and the strict laws. Another thing that they said that legalizing the drug will increase the use and addiction. History says otherwise. In Portugal, when all the drugs were decriminalized in 2001, drug use among the youth were actually decreased. Why? Because people were educated. Another thing that prohibition glamorized drugs, but education misidentifies them. The drug ruined health and caused death. These are my opposition's points. But yes, because right now people can get unregulated amount and unadulterated substance where the drugs are legal, purity and dosage forms are maintained. Another thing that I would like to say that legalizing all the drugs under strict regulation is better, safer and rational alternative for prohibition. Legalization would enable scientific study of substances currently banned like psychedelics, cannabis, MDMA, which should promising therapeutic value and treating PTSD, depression, chronic pain. We do not regulate, we cannot regulate. If you do not regulate, then we refuse to understand the motion. That's why I would like to say that all the drugs should be legalized because if we cannot regulate it, the black market will increase and this will lead to overdose and addiction. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Menas Khan, representing the third speaker, and I stand against the motion that all drugs should not be legalized. Now, imagine a scenario where your child in future or a 22-year-old, your child is actually addicted to opioids or cannabis because all of the drugs are legalized. They are going to think that since the drugs are legalized, since government has allowed it, it must be safe for them to use. What will happen in that case? My opposition stated that by prohibition, we have not been able to eliminate drug use. However, we don't eliminate criminal laws because we have not been able to stop stealing. Should we just eliminate laws because we have not been able to stop stealing and the criminal acts? Now, they've also stated how legalization will actually decrease criminalization, but my data states otherwise. Post-legalization of recreational cannabis actually led to the increment from 400,000 to 800,000 users of cannabis. So it actually increased it because when you're legalizing it, you are actually increasing the accessibility of the drugs. They're talking about how we can actually create regulations and we can regulate it. They talked about tobacco use and alcohol, both the second and the third speaker. But my question is tobacco or alcohol, either of them safe for us? What is it actually creating? Yes, it is legal, but the addiction is also skyrocketing. Think about Bangladesh and think about the Western world. You can see the discrimination discrimination over here. Bangladesh is far safer. We hear less about the addictions than in the Western world. So how is it safe? How is they assuring safety? They have talked about how taxes can generate money, but money is not the factor over here. If your people are not safe, what about the safe travel people? We are not companies. We are not the company the managers. We have to think about the nation, about the people. Legalization isn't liberation. It's choosing your convenience over caution and chaos, because legalization will create chaos, and we don't want that. As health professionals, everyone over here is a health professional, a pharmacist. My question to you is, we have to be the voice of reason. We have to ensure that safety of our people is ensured, and legalization will never allow that. We have to be the voice of reason, because as pharmacists, we know this. Thank you, everyone.
I don't think so. No, अब तो मैं ऑडियंस लास्ट ईयर का डिफरेंस लास्ट टाइम से क्योंकि আমাদের প্রিন্সিতে আমাদের অনেকগুলো বাচ্চা ওরা তো সাবমিট করলো রাষ্ট্রস্থ জাস্ট এখন জাস্ট এক মিনিট একটা ফাইনাল দিতে last final হ্যাঁ লিখে দিই তাহলে ভাইয়া এটা ডিলিট না করে হ্যাঁ ফাইনাল রেজাল্ট উইল রিভিল সুন ঠিক আছে ভাইয়া এবার কি করবো এটা দিয়ে দেন আর সময় নেবে এই দিতেই রাখবে কিছু পারি না কোথা থেকে দেয় এখানে কোথায় না এভাবে দিলে সুন্দর লাগছে আচ্ছা এটা দিলে হয় এই অবস্থা আগে আমি তো দেখে আমি কত দেখছো কাছে প্রাইস থেকেও জিজ্ঞেস করতেছে আপনি এটা কি দিছে দিতে না দিতেছে তাই না না এটা ভালো আমার মিশেল ভাইয়া পাইছে মিশেল পাইছে একটা মার্ক পাইছে আমি কিছু পাইতে আমার হাত দেখে নাই ভাই আমরা ওই চিপায় গিয়ে বসছি পরে এসে
পানি
ভাইয়া কাছে লাগবে হ্যাঁ এটাও দিবে হ্যাঁ মানে ডিবেটটাও দিবে তো দেয়নি সরি মাথা নষ্ট হচ্ছে আমার
বুঝলাম না লাইফটাইম ম্যাটার না অনেক খুশি
Emmy.
না বললা যা কাজ দেবো তাই করবো এটা তার নাম মানে রাত্রিরে ডিবেট টাইপ করার জন্য আইসে রাত্রিরে ডিবেট আর আমি এটা বুঝতে পারছি তাহলে মেবি ট্রায়াল করছি
Wow, what an electrifying session. Kudos to both the universities for putting up such a heated debate. I was quite literally on the edge of my seat. And I'm sure it's the same for our viewers over here. They enjoyed this debate to the fullest. With that being said, it is my greatest honor to invite upon stage Mr. Mohammad Tanvir Shojib Sir, Chief Marketing Officer of Pharma Market Division of Renata Pharmaceuticals Limited, to announce the winners of the Pharma Debate.
Thank you very much, sir, for the honor. Actually, I'm not in a position to talk on the topic because it's very difficult because when I was in the gas panel, so I'm a bit at neutral base now. So I'm not in for or against the topic now, right now. So no comments on the topic, but it was for me at least I can tell, and I see the other judges over there as well. It was really difficult to assess, and I don't know the score because we just put the individual score in different box. So add it together. So far my understanding is very close time, and you can tell that it's, at least if you're not out, it's probably 1-2% differences. At least for my score, I had a score in my memory that what is the two team almost all about. It was very tight, very tight. So I got to know that there is also third winner. I mean, the second runner-up. So who have been selected earlier. So that was declared earlier, yeah? Okay. So should I start from that? Shari, could you please join me? I don't know that you are the host. So second runner-up is not present, is not debate, is there have the opportunity to present here today, but they had it earlier. So it's Northern University Bangladesh. Great, congratulations. And now, so first runner-up, it was a tough challenge between these two teams, and finally the result is the first runner-up, North South University. That means the champion of Pharma Debate, Pharma Fest 2025 is Grant University. And, again, the Best Speaker Award goes to Rubaba Hafiz Shoshi, Grant University. So thank you very much. I think it's a really good tight fight between these two teams. I wish you all the best. And thank you once again for inviting me here.
Congratulations to the winners. Congratulations to BRAC University Team B. You guys did an amazing job, and you guys deserve a pat on the back. Now, it is my honor to call upon stage Professor Dr. Mohammad Hossein Shahriar to present a crest of appreciation for our judges for this round. Can we please have Dr. Mohammad Ilyas Al-Mamun to the stage? Can we please have Dr. Tahmina Foyz to the stage, please? Last but not the least, I would now like to invite Dr. Nasrin Akhtar to the stage.
I'd like to say sorry to Tanvi Sajid Bhai. Actually, I will give, your case is not ready yet. We'll give it later. And I would like to thank all the participants who have actually joined in this debate competition. And debate committee, faculty committee, students committee, all the volunteers, all the faculty members, and the students who have joined in this debate. Thank you very much.